This is Cadillac's smallest SUV. It is called the XT4. And for 2021, there are a few updates. But how does it compare to the competition? We're going to take it for a test drive and let you decide. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. The 2021 Cadillac XT4 is the compact luxury SUV for Cadillac. Now, there is a lot of competition in this segment, and for 2021 they made a few upgrades to compete even more aggressively. So we're going to go through 10 different categories and tell you the information that you won't get at the dealer, because when you go to the dealer, they're going to sell you on the vehicle. That's their job. We're going to give you information on performance, handling, safety, visibility, seating, technology, and the upgrades. We'll talk about features, design, quality. We'll talk about cargo space, and of course price. And in the end, we'll give you a car coach reports total so that you can compare it to the competition, which we have listed down below in the description, plus links to those reviews so that you have one place to get all your information. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe and click that little bell, because you will get some great information, not just on new car reviews, what's new and coming out, but also car smarts, because knowledge is power and we want you to save some money. There are 3 different trim levels for the XT4. There's the Sport, the Luxury, and the Premium Luxury. Today we're going to look at the Premium Luxury. They all have a lot of the same features. Some have different looks and some have different upgrades. Let's start by looking under the hood. Under the hood of all of the XT4s is a 2-liter turbocharged engine with 237 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, backed by a 9-speed automatic transmission, available in front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive configurations. All right, one of the things you'll notice right away is that there's pretty good pickup. It's a 2-liter turbo, and this is very standard across the lineup. If you offer the optional towing package, it has a 3,500 pound towing capacity, and fuel economy on this vehicle is 24 miles to the gallon in the city, 30 on the highway, and a combined of 26. When you're driving, if you need to put your foot in it, it's a little bit delayed. Wow, did you feel that delay? That is called turbo lag. I'm a little disappointed in that from this vehicle, because typically Cadillac puts together a vehicle that has a little bit more get up and go. But you have to look at this price category and you have to look at the competitors, and this is something there where it's lacking just a little bit. The brakes are good. It seems to be a little bit longer than most vehicles in this category. 0 to 60, 7.6 seconds, which is a bit slow. My foot's in it. We're in the sport mode. There is a lag to get rolling, and that's 60 miles an hour. One thing I do want to shut off is this auto off. It's a button that shuts the engine off when you come to a stop. It drives me crazy, because if you look at the numbers, you save about a tablespoon of gas. Manufacturers have to put that on their vehicles, but they know that a lot of reviewers don't like it, and we shut it off. So every time you start the car, you have to shut that off. Something to keep in mind. Again, that's a personal choice. I will move this into the sport mode, because there's also touring, and it does ride quite nicely in the touring mode, and I think it's pretty good pickup, but I wish it was just a little bit less turbo lag. You can feel a little bit of torque steer when you put your foot in it, and what that means is the wheel pull just a touch to the left. They've done a good job removing that. A lot of manufacturers have figured that out over the time, but it's something that you need to keep in mind. Now, when you're looking at accelerating, when you're rolling along, it's got pretty good pickup. There's still that turbo lag. Maybe it's just an adjustment on the turbo that they'll do for the next year. 0 to 60 is a bit slow, but overall this vehicle has pretty good performance, and it earns an 8. When you're looking at handling, the XT4 is available in front-wheel drive as well as all-wheel drive. Again, it depends on where you live and what works for you. Overall, the handling is as expected and pretty much average for the category. Braking, again, fits into that average for the category, and the ride is a bit noisy, and I kind of wish there was more insulation, because we are talking about a vehicle, once you add it up, and this vehicle's coming in like $49,000, plus you could add even more goodies and make it more expensive. You have to keep in mind that this vehicle competes with the German cars, the Acura, the Infiniti, and their quieter rides. The turning radius is pretty good, and the vehicle points and goes exactly where you tell it to go. Riding over the rough roadways like you just saw us on, you'll find that it absorbs some of it, but not as good as most Cadillacs. When you're thinking Cadillac, you are thinking about a premium ride, handling, and performance, and this vehicle lacks in that area a little bit. Compared to the competition, when you're looking at the Lincoln and the German brands, there is a difference. And this vehicle, for handling, earns a 7. When you're looking at safety, Cadillac has decided to bundle their electronic driver aids so that you have to buy them in option packages. Some are not available on the base trim level. Standard is forward collision warning, HD rear vision camera, automatic emergency braking, forward collision alert, rear brake assist, front pedestrian braking, and safety alert seat is standard. These are adjustable in your center screen. When you start buying the packages, the driver awareness package, the driver assistant package, and the enhanced visibility package, it gets very expensive. Our test vehicle had the enhanced visibility package at $1,500 and the driver assistant package at $1,100. You're $2,600 in without adding all the options that you want, just in safety. And a lot of the competitors are starting to put that in as standard. And this is something that you really need to think about. You should get all the safety features, especially when you're comparing this XT4 to a lot of the competitors, which we have listed down below. When you're looking at safety for this vehicle, including its NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration rating of 5 stars, this vehicle earns a 7. When you're looking at visibility, it's a part of safety because 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility. And looking out the front, you have a huge piece of front glass. That's excellent, and you can see the roadway, great visibility out the front. When you look at the side, the sills, which is where you might rest your arm, is a bit high on this vehicle, and it's also high in the back, which kind of restricts some of the visibility. Looking out the back, you've got 2 headrests in the way, but this vehicle has something that a lot of manufacturers are starting to put into place, and you're seeing it across the whole General Motors lineup, including the entry-level Buicks, which I really think is very smart. You just flip this little lever on the rearview mirror and you have a camera, and you can use it anytime, even while you're driving, and that does help visibility a lot. And it does pair in really nicely with blind spot detection and lane change departure, so you don't hit anyone. But visually, looking out the back without using this camera up here, you will find that there are some limitations, but overall, for visibility, it earns a 7. When you're looking at seating, no matter how beautiful this car may be to you, the seats are the most important comfort point, because if you're not comfortable here, it doesn't make a difference how great the car looks or what cool features it has or even safety. So I always say this is a really top priority that you shouldn't overlook. There is 8-way power on the driver's side and 6-way power on the passenger side. There's massaging seats that are low in the lumbar. There is 3-stage heated and 3-stage ventilated seats that is available as an option in the premium luxury trim level. Of course, a heated steering wheel, and that's all part of that winter package, because when it's cold, you definitely want what I call hot cross buns, front and back, and you'd like to have a heated steering wheel. One other thing to note, which I think is very important, is adjustable height seat belts. You want these to be adjustable. Every luxury car in this segment should have it. If you find one that doesn't, keep in mind you don't want the seat belt cutting your neck. Let's take a look at the second row and we'll give it a score. In the second row, you'll find that the XT4 has more legroom than any of the competitors, and that is a big positive, especially if you're sitting back here, child safety seats, you want that extra distance. About 39.5 cubic feet of legroom, more than anyone else. You can easily get 2 adults across here. Even though this sits 5, we did have 3 in the back and it was tight. So it's good for 2 child safety seats, and that's really the optimum for this vehicle. If you need something bigger, you'll have to look at a bigger vehicle. Now, one of the things to note is there's really good leg room. I'm 5'8", I'm not much torso, more legs, but there's plenty of headroom and shoulder room, and that's really good, part of that extra space you're gonna find in the XT4. Pulling down this center armrest, you're going to find 2 cup holders built right into it, which I prefer versus out the front, which you'll find in a lot of the German vehicles. In front of you, you'll find 2 vents and 2 outlets, both USB-C and USB, as well as heated seats. And that's part of the winter package. When you're looking at the doors, normal storage, a little speaker, and window lifts, and a door lever to open. That's it. There's no locks back here. Some vehicles have it, some don't. But when you're looking at seating comfort overall, for those that are sitting in the second row and the front row, it earns an 8. When you're looking at technology for this vehicle, there is a lot to offer. Starting off with the faster processor on this 8-inch screen. You can reach the home button by pressing it once to go to that combination screen, or you can see what's available right here. Pressing it here, you've got, of course, however you'd like to set that up. This shows the map, which is going to be updated, which we just heard the day we're filming this. There's going to be an update to the maps that comes factory with the General Motors products, which is great. You can press that home button either here or here. I'm not sure, again, why there needs to be 2 right next to each other. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess some people like to push the button versus, I don't know, doing something else. That's also probably good if you're in Apple CarPlay and you want to get out of it quickly. For the audio system, you've got a Bose 7 speaker system as standard, and it's pretty impressive. Of course, you can upgrade to the bigger package if that's what you're looking for. 4G LTE Wi-Fi is standard as well, and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard. That is new for 2021. Again, the hotspot is an additional fee over a period of time. You have to keep that in mind. Your settings, your users, your navigation, and your phone slide to the side, and you can put different apps in. Again, this all depends on what you want. Now, this is going through the Wi-Fi, so you're going to see effect that it's going to take a little bit longer. You've got Amazon Alexa, which is built into this vehicle. That's also new. Audiobooks, Pandora, whatever you want to put in here. Some people want to know the sports or stocks, whatever that can be, put right in there for you, as well as Waze. Also, one of my favorite services is OnStar. I call this part of technology. If you've ever used OnStar, I think it's a fabulous system. Yes, there's an additional fee after the initial orientation, but honestly, it's still one of the best systems on the market, and it's only available on General Motors cars. This is your climate. You can also use the climate that's down below right there, you can see, but one of the things about the climate is you can use it this way if you wish. You can get right to the camera at any time without going in reverse. Good to know if you're parking or what's going on around you. Satellite radio, My Cadillac, which is the app, and the marketplace, so you can purchase things. Overall, when you're looking at the technology and the speed of the processor on this center screen, which is pretty quick, for technology, this vehicle earns a 9. When you're looking at features, first you're going to notice this beautiful logo in front of you that matches the logo on the front of the vehicle, which I think is pretty nice. Over to the left side, you're going to see your heated steering wheel. This is part of your cruise control, and that's your distance between you and the vehicle in front of you for the safety system or the feature of active cruise control. And on the right side, pressing this button allows you to change the screen in front of you, and that allows you to scroll within it or push the button to get to a different screen. It allows you to get your radio station, your navigation, your phone, and any of the adjustments that you would like depending upon what that is. You can also change the display. So if you want different things, speed signs and so forth, all that is available right there. One really nice feature is the head-up display. You can display the speed signs and adjust the rotation as well as the brightness, and that's also to the left of the steering wheel. We'll show you that in just a second. Regular gauges, again, everybody's picky about this. Some people hate the regular gauges. Personally, I like them because down the road, if there's ever a problem, you'll be thrilled you have actual gauges versus just having the digital component of that. There is paddle shifters, which I don't think you're going to use in this vehicle because it's not a performance vehicle, but I guess that's part of what everybody wants. I don't know who's actually using it. There's your stalks on your left side and your wipers and your positive on the right side. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have your head-up display, which is the HUD, the information that you can change, and the brightness, which I appreciate it being right there and easy to use. Going to the door, you've got your normal window lifts and your memory seating. In front of you in the center, you have 2 vents, the technology screen, which we covered, and then you go into your climate control buttons, which are pretty easy to use, very intuitive as another option than using the center screen. Heated and ventilated seats, like we talked about before, your charging ports of USB-C, USB, and a regular 12-volt outlet. There is your key with that beautiful logo. Then you've got your shifter lever, which is starting to look very much like a BMW. I see a lot of German design there. Further back, you've got your multimedia interface, which includes some of the same information you saw in front of you for music, for your navigation, changing of the stations, your volume. This dial turns to turn all the information, phone, and then go backwards. On this side, you have your traction control, the auto off, which I prefer to be off, which I talked about in performance, and then your mode change, just a matter of pressing the buttons. There's a wireless charger right here, which is a really nice location. The only thing is you can't look at your phone, which is probably a good thing. And then to open the glove box, it's right there. And inside there's a place to store your glasses or whatever you might need. And it's just a gigantic well, which is good to have. On the seats, you'll notice this trim piece. It looks like the bottom of the Cadillac logo, and that's part of the design. When you're looking at features overall for the XT4, it earns an 8. For 2021, on the design side, there are 2 new additional colors. And when you're looking at the front of this vehicle, they've done such a good job, it's really hard to upgrade much. I love the original classic Cadillac logo. It has a history all the way back to 1902, and they want to bring that history back by using that original style, but upgrading it in a more modern, sophisticated look, which you see throughout the vehicle when it comes to design. The grille is nice, it's chrome, it's got highlighted chrome ends on each grille piece. Really well designed, very pretty. When you look at the lower grille, you'll see that it's matte versus the shiny that's up higher. The reason for that is if the vehicle is dirty, you won't see it as much, and you want a pretty vehicle like this to really stand out and to look its best at all times. And you can't always run it through a car wash, but the one thing you can do is have that vehicle set and designed in a certain way so that it always looks good. For all of the XT4s, this grille is not functional, it's for design, and it looks good. Then you go into these DRLs, or daytime running lights. They're LED as well as the headlights. It's a nice design, it's very Cadillac specific. You can identify this vehicle while it's going down the road. Again, that's part of their design. When you're looking at the hood, you'll see its muscular lines. It goes along with a lot of the General Motors family. They like to get that muscular yet modern look. The matte black wheel arch is slightly different on the Sport model, and there's different colors, of course, if you want it to blend in or you want it to stand out. On the fender is this monochrome Cadillac badge. They removed all the colors so it matches the one from the front, and it also matches what's on the wheels. Looks really clean and really modern. On the side mirror, this is your marker light. It's also when you hit the unlock, it'll let you know this is your vehicle. Just a nice little touch. As you work your way back, you'll see these big front doors. Makes it really easy to get in and out of the vehicle. But when you head back to the rear door, it's slightly shorter. It may not look like it, but when you try to get in and out, they call it ingress and egress. It's a little bit tighter in the rear, especially for other competitors in the category, and that's something important, especially if you're forced to sit in the back seat. One design element to note is this lower silver strip. Almost every single SUV is doing it now. There's a few exceptions. It sort of says luxury, but it's also part of the design. You'll also note this vehicle does not have a sunroof, but you can get a dual pane full glass roof, and it's pretty nice. If you don't want the sun to come in, then this might be an option for you. Looking further back, you've got the chrome trim piece bringing your eye along this way, and your privacy glass, so the back windows are darker. This is pretty standard on pretty much every vehicle. On the back is the LED taillight. I love the fact that it runs all around the corner so that people behind you can see it. So they've really thought about making it high and making it big and bright. Also, your third brake light is here, but one thing that Cadillac started, and now everyone's starting to follow it, and I really think it's a genius idea, is to tuck that rear wiper blade up underneath this wing. And the reason you do that is it doesn't damage the blade by the sun. You scrape ice, it won't get damaged, and it's a great way to have it last longer because they are not low cost. On the left side, you'll have your XT4, and then you'll have the 350T on this side, touring, all very nice. On each side, you'll see a marker light and your dual exhaust. I do like that they put a matte silver here that matches that trim piece that runs along the side. Very well designed. And when it comes to design for this XT4, it earns a 9. When you're looking at the quality of the XT4, Cadillac usually has the best of the best. This is an entry-level Cadillac, so you're going to see premium features on this vehicle, but you're also going to see some areas where they cut back. However, this has a 5-star crash test rating. That's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This is a really top quality safety vehicle. Now when you're looking at its warranty, it's 4 years, 50,000 miles, and you're looking at the build quality of this vehicle, both inside and out, the materials and the quality of the components and how all the fit and finish holds together. This vehicle earns a 9 for quality. Coming around to the back with the second row up, you have 22.5 cubic feet of storage. That's better than most of the vehicles in the class. Put down the second row and you're at 48.9 cubic feet of storage. This is a 60-40 split seat. And underneath, there is no spare tire, but there is a tire inflation product. Again, I like the spare tire. That's up to you, but it's good to know that you don't have a spare before you buy the vehicle. There's also this really nice cargo cover and tie downs all the way around. One thing to note is you cannot put down the rear seats from here. You have to go around to the side. So that's the only way to put down the rear seats and to put them back up. The price of the XT4 depends on the trim level, whether it's a sport, a luxury, or a premium luxury, starting at about $35,000, and then when you get to the premium luxury, that starts almost at $43,000. Our test vehicle was $48,950. It had a few options, not every option, and yes, you can load it up. It depends on what you need and what you want, and of course your budget. When you're looking at this vehicle compared to the other vehicles in this category, and like I said, the list is down below, and it's quite extensive of premium luxury vehicles, because Cadillac also runs against Lincoln and all the German brands, plus the Japanese and the Korean brands, including Genesis. That sort of changes what's available, and it also means where this fits into the price point. It earns an 8 for value. When you look at all 10 categories for the XT4, there are some pluses and minuses. Cadillac has only made a few changes for this year, from the technology, the colors, and the trim levels, and of course that little corner light that has the Cadillac logo so you can see it at night. Little details. Is it much different than the 2020 and enough to not buy a 2020? If you can find a 2020 on the lot, it would be a good decision. If not, and you want those color choices or those additional Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is standard, and of course some of the new details in each trim level, then you'll want to look for the 2021. Adding up all 10 categories, the pros and the cons, this vehicle came in at 80. Like I've been saying, there's a lot of competitors. Make sure to check out the list down below in the description, and you can go to our website, Car Coach Reports. You can get other opinions there, both English and in Spanish. Also, we're putting out new content on our social media at Lauren Fix on all platforms. And check out our podcast, Total Car Score, where we talk a little bit deeper about each vehicle and things that you might not get at the dealer or even online. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and share it. If you have any questions on any categories or anything I didn't cover, because there's a lot of details that we didn't get deep dive into, put them in the comments down below. I will get you an answer before you go to the dealer, because we want you to make good choices. And if you bought one of these, we'd like to know why. And if you didn't, what did you choose? Put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.